Now that we know the young and the restless Mitch McCall is really Matt Clark, so many questions spring to mind. How can Matt be alive when we saw him die years ago? Does his wife Sienna know his true identity? And what's up with that sneak peek for next week involving Mitch and Holden? Does Holden know who Mitch really is? On Friday's episode of The Young and the Restless, Sharon visited the Shadow Room with questions for Sienna about her connection to Noah. After Sharon left the club, she waited around outside for a while, hoping Mitch would show up so she could question him too. When she bumped into a man who was entering the club, she took a good look at him and was horrified when she realized he was Matt Clark, the guy who raped her when they went to high school together. Matt presumably died over 20 years ago. What the heck is going on? Mitch McCall, Sienna's husband, who's been shrouded in mystery for weeks, is really Matt Clark? On a side note, it was awesome to get a glimpse of Sharon in badass mode. She got fired up when she spoke to Nick on the phone, telling him, "Someone just ran my son off the road. Trust me, nobody's gonna mess with me the way I feel right now." Can we please have more of this, Sharon? The take no prisoners, grab the bull by the horns, mama bear Sharon? That moment gave us a major rush. This Holden and Audra mystery has been dragging on for about 10 months, and it's about time we got some answers. On Friday, Sienna told Holden that Kyle is snooping for dirt on him. She set Holden's mind at ease and assured him she wouldn't tell Kyle what happened between him and Audra. Then Sienna told Holden he owes her something in exchange for her silence. She said, "Just be prepared to answer the call when I decide on my method of payment." Wow, this secret must be huge. Holden may be good-looking and charming, but Claire is eventually going to be sorry she gave him the time of day. Does Holden know Mitch's true identity? Holden barely knows Nick and Sharon, but if he does know that Mitch is really Matt Clark, then why is he keeping quiet about it? What is his connection to Matt? In the sneak peek for next week on The Young and the Restless, Mitch comes face to face with Holden and tells him, "It's been a long time." What could their connection be? Apparently, they go back a long way, so does Holden know Mitch is really Matt Clark? Holden looks a bit younger than Mitch. It doesn't seem like they could have grown up together. But what if they did, and Holden knows how dangerous Mitch is? If Holden is an old friend of Matt's from his childhood, then how will Claire react when she eventually finds out Matt was a psychotic rapist who put her Uncle Nick and Sharon through hell? Will Matt target Claire next? It feels like that's where the storyline is headed. Claire went to LA to have time on her own, but when all is said and done, she's going to find herself in danger. There are so many questions to juggle in this storyline. Where does Audra fit in? Does Sienna know about her husband's violent past and doesn't care, or is she unaware of it? Did Matt run Noah off the road? If he did, does Holden know? This storyline is like a jigsaw puzzle. Let's hope the pieces start to come together soon. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for the week of November 3 to 7 reveals that Noah Newman will spill his side of the story, while Lily Winters totally loses it. Victor Newman will get sneaky as well. So here's what viewers can look forward to. In Los Angeles, Mitch McCall will go into full denial mode as he faces Sharon Newman, so he won't confess to being Matt Clark, at least not yet. Sienna McCall will rush to Mitch's defense during a tense discussion with Nick Newman, but she'll seem rattled about all the Matt accusations. At the hospital, Noah will wake up and ultimately get his bandages taken off. Y&R fans will see Noah reconnect with his parents and offer his side of the story. Sharon and Nick will want Noah's version of the canyon events, but they'll also ask about his visits to the Shadow Room and wonder why he's been so secretive for months. Later, Nick will catch Mitch, aka Matt, by surprise, so a fierce face-off is brewing. Like Sharon, Nick will know for sure he's looking into the eyes of his worst enemy. It's clear that Matt has an agenda involving Noah, so Nick will demand some answers, though Matt may not give him much information. Back with Sienna, she'll clam up when the cops come knocking. Sienna will hide her trail when it comes to the police and presumably protect Mitch, aka Matt, too. Since Matt was previously obsessed with Sharon, Nick will have good reasons to worry about her. You can bet Nick will show off his protective side, but that may not be enough to keep Sharon out of danger. While Victoria Newman deals with suspicions regarding Noah's crash, Victor will be busy plotting back in Genoa City. It turns out Victor will come up with a sneaky strategy, so maybe he'll create a distraction as he unleashes the AI program. Trouble is brewing at Jabot, but Kyle Abbott will still make time for concerns about Clare Newman and her growing bond with Holden Novak. Although Kyle will want updates on Holden and Audra Charles's buried history, he'll soon become more interested in what Claire's been doing with Holden in LA. Will Claire admit she hit the sheets with Holden, or keep that news to herself for now? Whatever the case, Audra will cause some LA drama during her own trip there, but Holden will try to cover for her. Finally, the Young and the Restless spoilers say Lily will totally lose it on Kane Ashby, so her patience will officially run out. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Clare Newman may end up pregnant by Holden Novak. Will Holden and Claire's Los Angeles passion lead to some baby drama back in Genoa City? Following Clare and Holden's sizzling hotel encounter in the October 31st episode, she could find herself with a bun in the oven. It only takes one time to make a baby, especially on soaps where women tend to be remarkably fertile for the sake of unplanned pregnancy storylines. There's no guarantee that Clare and Holden used protection. Even if they did, it's not 100% effective, and certainly wouldn't rule out the possibility of a soapy baby twist. Back in September, Clare herself may have hinted about a surprise pregnancy being in her future. Y&R fans may recall that Clare flipped out over Kyle Abbott's marriage proposal and wondered if he'd suggest having a baby next. Kyle cracked a not yet joke, but the baby mention in general felt like a potential clue. Perhaps Kyle will wind up heartbroken when Clare gets pregnant by Holden instead of him. Kyle has been working hard to steer Clare away from Holden and get his own relationship with her on track again. However, Kyle's pushiness backfired since it ultimately shoved Clare right into bed with Holden. Victoria Newman has also been concerned about Clare doing something impulsive she might regret. Clare could indeed regret surrendering to Holden temptation if she gets pregnant and has a permanent tie to him. It's one thing for Clare to be attracted to Holden and enjoy spending time with him. It's quite another to imagine this forever connection and have faith in Holden to be a good father. Once Clare gets updates on whatever horrible secrets Holden and Audra Charles are hiding, that could make her realize Kyle was right to worry and try to protect her. Unfortunately, that realization may come too late if Clare is already pregnant with Holden's baby when his shady news blows up. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Clare's life could get turned upside down one way or another, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, November 3rd reveals that Sienna Bacall will threaten to ban Nick Newman from the club and will deny that Mitch McCall is Matt Clark. In Los Angeles, Clare Newman will feel like a new person after going wild with Holden Novak in bed and will claim she doesn't have any regrets. However, Clare will look rather conflicted once she's alone and thinking of Kyle. Once Clare sees the photo Kyle and Harrison Abbott took in their Halloween costume, that'll clearly weigh on her. Clare will confide in Victoria Newman after summoning her mom to her suite. Although Clare will hype up all the incredible things Holden's shown her in Los Angeles, she'll feel guilty about missing Halloween with Harrison. Victoria won't think there's any need for that guilt and will wonder who Clare actually feels she's letting down, Harrison or Kyle. Back in Genoa City on Monday's Y&R episode, Kyle will complain about Holden and fret over perhaps never getting his relationship with Clare back on track. After Kyle tells Jack Abbott about his goal of exposing Holden and Audra Charles' secret, Jack will warn Kyle that he could seem jealous and pushy. Even if Kyle has to risk losing Clare permanently, he'll feel the need to open her eyes about Holden for her own protection. In Los Angeles again, Sharon Newman will continue reeling at the sight of Matt Clark, who's supposed to be dead. Mitch will insist Sharon is mistaken and head inside the club after telling his bouncer to keep her out. Sharon will try and fail to get back in the shadow room, so she'll return to the hospital instead. That's where Sharon will give Nick the news that Matt is somehow alive and going by the name Mitch. Since Mitch is Sienna's husband, Nick will have plenty of questions about how Noah Newman is tangled up in all this. Nick will believe Sharon's claims and will want to see Matt for himself, so they'll return to the club. After the bouncer stands his ground and denies the pair entrance, Nick will sneak in while Sharon creates a distraction. That'll give Nick a chance to grill Sienna again, so he'll bring up Sharon's run-in with Mitch, aka Matt Clark. Sienna will insist she doesn't recognize the name and shut down the idea that her hubby has an alias. Nick will sense that Sienna is on edge and scared, but she'll threaten to have him barred from the shadow room if he doesn't stop with all these interrogations. In the end, Nick will tell Sienna to do him a favor and pass along a message. Sienna will be instructed to tell Mitch that Nick Newman wants to meet with him once he's available. Despite Sienna telling Nick that Mitch had left for the evening, Mitch will resurface in the club and quiz Sienna about her last conversation. Sienna will explain that Noah's dad, Nick Newman, was there claiming Mitch was actually Matt Clark. Nick will rejoin Sharon outside and offer updates on his discussion with Sienna. Sharon and Nick won't know for sure how much Sienna knows about Mitch's real identity, but they'll realize she's uncomfortable and keeping secrets. Nick will decide the best course of action is to catch Matt off guard, so he'll plan to corner him for a surprise confrontation soon. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some Matt will have a few more tricks up his sleeve, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless has always emphasized romance, going back to the show's early days when Brad and Leslie, and Snapper and Chris, fought for love. This November, the top-rated soap is keeping that focus on romance with the show's current couples, including Danny and Cricket, Victoria and Nate, Daniel and Tess, and more. According to Swoon, family and friends are going to gather for Danny and Cricket's wedding. The couple were first happily married 35 years ago. Phyllis, however, got her hooks into Danny when he was in New York City while performing on Broadway. Claiming that Daniel was Danny's son, Phyllis broke up Danny and Cricket. Now, after all these years, Danny and Cricket are set to tie the knot. Will the ceremony go off without a hitch? While Claire moved forward with Holden in Los Angeles, viewers can watch for her to be torn between Holden and Kyle. Harrison certainly wants Kyle and Claire to stay together, but Claire's attraction to Holden can no longer be denied. We've seen Daniel and Tessa share a kiss, following their trip to Boston so that Tessa could get through to Mariah, who has checked herself into a clinic. If Mariah can get past what she did when she tried to kill a man earlier this year, she and Tessa could reunite, but not if Tessa moves on with Daniel. Vicky and Nate had a romance that ended soon after it had begun. In recent months, however, Vicky lost Cole, the father of their daughter, Claire, and Nate split from the duplicitous Audra Charles, who lied about her business alliance with Victor. Watch for Vicky and Nate to reignite their friendship. He's been there for her while she's been mourning Cole. Could friendship turn to romance? Could Phyllis and Kane's cat-and-mouse game shift from business to romance? Kane is convinced that Phyllis stole his AI software program. She's being coy, refusing to give him an inch. But they are spending time together, either in her hotel suite or at the bar at the Genoa City Athletic Club. Will their banter turn to romance so that Kane can get his AI program back? The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the next 2 weeks, November 3rd to November 14th, reveal that Nick Newman and Matt Clark, aka Mitch McCall, have a showdown coming up. Victoria Newman will also mull over some Noah Newman puzzle pieces. So here's what Y&R fans will see next. During the week of November 3 to 7, Mitch will insist he's not Matt before scampering away from Sharon Newman. Sienna Bacall will shut down Nick Newman's next interrogation, but he'll be determined to speak with Matt himself. After Noah awakens and gets his bandages off, he'll open up about time off canvas. However, Noah may be a bit cagey and leave his parents wondering if they're really getting the whole story. Nick will eventually have the showdown he's after with Matt. Even if Matt continues to insist this is a case of mistaken identity, Nick will know better and will put his familiar foe on full blast. As for Claire Newman, she'll feel conflicted after that incredible night in bed with Holden Novak. Part of her will love the freedom she's found with Holden, but another part of Claire will remain drawn to Kyle Abbott. Kyle and Claire may be on the verge of a blow-up since he'll eventually demand answers about her time in Los Angeles with Holden. If Claire admits to her passionate Holden encounter, Kyle may lash out. In the meantime, Audra will make an LA appearance and interact with a drunk guy at the shadow room. Holden will see Audra at the nightclub and perhaps intervene if the guy she's drinking with tries anything inappropriate. Back with Sienna, She'll try to keep the cops in the dark on some things, while Nick worries about Sharon potentially landing in danger. That's always a possibility whenever Matt Clark is around. Victoria may also decide to make herself useful in LA, since she'll mull over some Noah puzzle pieces. There'll be a lot of the suspicions to unpack regarding the crash and this mysterious Matt comeback situation. While Lily Winters blows up at Kane Ashby, Victor Newman will get ready for an attack that his enemies won't see coming. Jack Abbott is obviously Victor's biggest rival at the moment, but Victor may have other enemy targets that come into play too. Victor may move forward with his plans during the week of November 10 to 14, so we'll see if the AI program gets used by then. Jack, Diane Jenkins Abbott, Kyle, and Billy Abbott will come together to protect Jabot as best as they can. Matt will also do some pretty disturbing things back in Los Angeles. Sharon and Nick had better be ready, since Mitch, aka Matt, is about to make some dirty moves. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Noah's past will unravel and lead to updates on some wild news, so stay tuned. Here are your spoilers for the Monday, November 3rd, 2025 episode of The Young and the Restless. As viewers saw on Friday's episode, Sharon encountered a man she believes to be Matt Clark, the man who raped her when she was a teen. Nick went to jail for shooting Matt. About 5 years later, after skipping town, Matt returned for another reign of terror that supposedly resulted in his death. What's Matt doing alive and in Los Angeles? On Monday's show, watch for Sharon and Nick to receive a blast from the past. Will we learn how Matt is alive and living in LA? Jack has been in his son, Kyle's, shoes in the past. He knows that Kyle is in love with Claire, but she has pushed him away. Jack's a strategist in business, and he also knows how to fight for love, as evidenced by his story with Diane. On Monday's show, watch for Jack to help Kyle with his next move. If Kyle wants to re-win Claire's heart, he's going to have to make the right moves to show her that he still loves her without coming on too strong. On Friday's show, we saw Clare and Holden give in to their mutual attraction. The two shared a steamy encounter, the kind that romance on daytime is all about. Claire's led a very unorthodox life. She was raised by her evil Aunt Jordan and was led to believe that her own family didn't truly want her. As a result, Claire has needed time away from Kyle, time away from family, and she has traveled to Los Angeles to have some fun and find herself. She's gotten to know Holden better, and the two have now become sexually intimate. On Monday's show, watch for Clare and Holden to discuss current affairs. Will the two be engaging in a talk about world politics or the new dimension that their relationship has taken on? We suspect the latter. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kyle Abbott will have at least 4 revenge targets soon. Some major payback plots are on the way, so we should talk about Kyle's need for vengeance and which characters he'll go after. 1. Holden. Kyle has already been suspicious and concerned about Holden Novak making moves on Claire Newman. It's clear that Kyle doesn't like or trust Holden, but this growing rivalry is about to soar to new heights. Kyle will inevitably find out about Holden taking Claire to bed in Los Angeles, so that's going to make him loathe Holden even more. It'll provide some extra motivation when it comes to Kyle's desire to expose Holden's past mistakes and take him down. Of course, Kyle won't forget about his desire to make Audra pay. Claire and Kyle would still be a happy couple if it weren't for all the drama Audra unleashed while working for Victor Newman. Since Kyle still blames Audra for setting his split from Claire in motion, he'll go after revenge on her too. Kyle will be determined to reveal what really happened between Holden and Claire. Although Kyle has been pretty fixated on repairing his love life, that'll change now that Jabot is facing such a terrible threat. Kyle was summoned back to GC to help deal with all the corporate chaos, so this is the start of him getting more involved in his family's work issues. Victor is all set to unleash the AI program that Phyllis Summers surrendered to him as part of their deal. Kyle will help Jack Abbott, Diane Jenkins Abbott, and Billy Abbott take a bold stand against Victor soon enough. Since Phyllis leaked the software to Victor and wants to take over Jabot in the end, she surely won't escape the revenge she deserves. Jack is hoping to convince Phyllis to join Team Abbott, but she only looks out for herself in most Y&R storylines. Every word that comes out of Phyllis's mouth tends to be a lie or some sort of twisted manipulation. Kyle won't stand for Phyllis running the show at Jabot, especially since she's been playing dirty with Victor. This whole mess is why Phyllis should also find herself on Kyle's revenge list, which is getting longer every day. The Young and the Restless, spoilers, say Kyle is headed down a vengeful path, so stick with us for updates on all payback news and fierce face-offs to come. Many from the festivities of October 17th are still reeling over their daytime Emmy wins, everyone from the shows to those behind the scenes and to the stars who bring their characters to our screens each weekday. Not only that, there's one man who couldn't feel any luckier. Though Lyndon Ashby didn't take home the award for playing Evil Cameron in the Outstanding Guest Performer category, that went to General Hospital's Allie Mills, his wife, Susan Walters, took home a golden statuette for Outstanding Supporting Actress as Diane. Ashby posted a photo from the big night alongside his Emmy-winning wife and their 2 daughters, and shared a very touching message. "I'm going on the record to, I guess, acknowledge that I understand how lucky I am," Ashby began, then went on to express, "Susan, Grace, and Savannah are all beautiful, talented, gifted, incredibly strong women. Smart, funny, kind, good, moral, ethical, lovely. Did I mention smart and talented? And the fact is that I know I, 100%, don't deserve this blessing. But I'm so happy and filled with gratitude that I've got it. Thank you, God, universe, great unknown, whatever. I'm really aware, and I'm really grateful." To which Walters replied, "I'm the lucky one to have you in my life." The actress also posted a bunch of pics of the proud parents and their beautiful daughters, and thanked Young and Restless for some updated family photos. It's never too late to send the CBS soap star your congrats in the comments section, and if you missed it, view the complete list of your 2025 Daytime Emmy winners. Kane and Lily's reconciliation have been pushed aside for whatever's going on with Kane and Phyllis. This week's slow-burning storyline involves Kane and Lily on The Young and the Restless. Kane has been determined to reconcile with his family, including his ex-wife Lily. However, it seems the soap is taking a pause on this storyline. Ever since Kane revealed himself as Aristotle Dumas, things have never been the same. In June, Christelle Khalil shared her thoughts on the possibility of reconciliation. The point of recasting Kane was to make him a completely different character. And because of this, his ex-wife sees him in a different light too. She has no attraction to Kane whatsoever, or so she claims. She also made it clear that Kane and Lily are not getting back together. "It's never happening," Khalil boldly stated. For that to happen, Kane would have to rebuild Lily's trust. That could take him a considerable amount of time. And here's another clue. Khalil just shared the news that she and her husband, Sam Ristagno, are expecting their 3rd child. The actress confirmed the news in a clever way. She revealed her baby bump in a cast Halloween dance video. Y&R viewers couldn't help but notice Lily's on-screen style has changed. She's been carrying a lot more tote bags. Khalil's pregnancy now suggests that something or someone will send Lily out of town. Could that person be Kane? Meanwhile, something's brewing between Phyllis and Kane. It seems like the soap continues to test the chemistry between them. The two have already shared some sizzling scenes. The latest one had viewers wondering what's going on between them. Are Kane and Phyllis attracted to each other? Or is he using his good looks and charms to get Phyllis to confess that she has the AI program? This AI storyline could have a shocking plot twist. Kane might still have the real program and just wanted to see who he could trust with the fake program. He could catch Phyllis and Victor off guard. There's also the possibility that Kane and Phyllis could be growing closer to each other. We could see them becoming more than colleagues in the coming months ahead. This could ruin his chances at reconciliation with Lily, at least for now. If he ends up with Phyllis, then Lily will really not want to have anything to do with him. Chelsea is not right about many things, but she was right about this. Billy's punch could become a PR nightmare. This week's messiest move goes to Billy Abbott on The Young and the Restless. He lost his cool when he punched out Adam at the Genoa City Athletic Club. Adam was mocking him and his failures. Then, he took it one step further by mentioning Billy's mother. Billy and Adam met up at the Genoa City Athletic Club. But it wasn't for a friendly talk over drinks. The two wanted to rehash their decades-long rivalry. Adam wanted to know if Billy dropped Abbott Communications. Billy said that Sally had it under control, but Adam thinks she deserves better. Billy told Adam to look out for an invite to their launch party. But Adam kept going. He claimed that Abbott Communications would fail because it could never compete with Newman Media. He then poked the bear by adding that Jill has more faith in Kane than she has in Billy. Billy told Adam to keep Jill's name out of his mouth. Adam laughed and told Billy to cut his losses and leave. Billy wasn't going to stand for this slander. He knocked out Adam cold. Y&R fans took sides in Billy and Adam's rivalry, agreeing that violence isn't the answer. The last thing that Billy needs is bad PR. He's trying to relaunch Abbott Communications, which has gone through more downs than ups. Over the past few years, it has been at the center of CEO mix-ups and family drama. Chelsea walked in at the right moment. She noticed that Billy knocked Adam out. She pulled Adam aside and asked him what happened. Adam thought he must have struck a nerve. Surprisingly, Chelsea made a good point. She thought it was ridiculous that Billy would risk a PR nightmare by punching out Adam. Billy has no idea what he's risking by losing his cool. This could be reported in the tabloids and gossip rags, which could tarnish their future efforts. Additionally, Sally is unaware of the events that transpired between Billy and Adam, which could further complicate their personal and professional relationships. It's bad enough that these two are teaming with Audra, who already has a questionable business reputation. Sally insists that Audra is the right person for the job. But Sally's gamble on Audra tests more than business. This week's Y&R preview hints at positive news for the Newmans. The Young and the Restless kicks off November with many surprises. This week's video preview reveals that one character meets someone from their past, while a family receives the miracle they've been praying for. Here's what to expect for November 3-7. Mitch, aka Matt Clark, is back and up to trouble again. It's been over 20 years since the character's last appearance, and fans will learn what he's been up to since his absence. One thing that's certain is he's going by the name Mitch and is married to Sienna. However, he also has connections to other characters in Genoa City. This week, Holden and Claire go to Sienna's club, where they run into Mitch. "Sienna told me you were in town," Mitch says to Holden, who seems uncomfortable. Chances are that Mitch and Sienna were involved in Holden and Audra's dark past in Los Angeles. Since Mitch could expose Holden's secret, he might use Mr. Novak to do his dirty work. Holden will have no choice but to go along with Mitch's demands. But he'll regret the decision when Mitch's plan involves hurting the Newman family. After her startling encounter with Matt Clark, Sharon tells Nick. The couple is already on edge because of their son's accident. Now, hearing their worst enemy is returned increases their anxiety. As Schick tries to figure out why Matt is back, Nick starts to put the pieces together. Nick says it's not a coincidence that Matt returned around the time of Noah's crash. With Matt possibly having something to do with Noah's hospitalization, Nick decides to pay him a visit. Nick and Matt's past encounters have resulted in bloody brawls. Since Nick is a protective papa, he'll teach Matt a lesson Mr. Clark is sure not to forget. For weeks, Sharon and Nick have stayed by Noah's bedside as their son showed no improvement. But this week, things take a positive turn. Noah wakes up from his coma, and the doctor prepares to remove his bandages. "We'll get to see his beautiful face," Sharon says happily as she and Nick look on. With Noah out of the woods, it'll be a heartwarming moment for the Schick family. While Sharon and Nick are excited about their son's recovery, there are still questions about his accident. Will Noah provide clues about his crash? Plus, what is his connection to Sienna? The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Kyle Abbott is going to soon need some revenge, and he has at least 4 targets. Of course, everyone knows that Claire Newman has decided it was time to sleep with Holden Novak, and Kyle is furious. Who will be on Kyle's hit list for the ultimate revenge? Kyle has had Holden's number since day 1. Kyle knew that Holden was after Claire, even though she was with him. Kyle tried to tell Claire this, but she didn't believe him. Kyle doesn't like Holden. Kyle does trust Holden, and sleeping with Claire has just made him trust him even less. Now Kyle will do everything in his power to expose Holden. Will this really do any good? Kyle definitely wants Audra Charles to pay for everything she has had to do with problem between himself and Claire. After all, if Audra had left well enough alone, he would not have been forced to open up to Claire about what happened between him and Audra. Kyle is determined to expose what happened between Claire and Holden. Kyle has tried his best to get things back on track when it comes to Claire and himself. Now that Victor claims to be on board with Claire and Kyle, now Victor is about to go after Jabot with his AI program, and Kyle has been summoned home to deal with it. Kyle will help his family face off against Victor to save Jabot. Will it work? Victor doesn't need Jabot, but he certainly won't turn it over to anyone who is not a Newman either. Will Victor push Victoria Newman to take over Jabot and get rid of Jabot before Jack Abbott realizes what is going on and comes to the rescue of Jabot before it is too late? Phyllis Summers was the one who has stolen the AI program and has made a trade with Victor to use it. Phyllis was responsible for Kyle and Summer Newman's marriage because she faked her death and lied about his mother killing her. Now Phyllis is helping Victor attack his family company after she has been married to his father at one point. Phyllis has no loyalty to anyone, and she has proven that, considering that Summer still works for the company in their overseas division. Kyle certainly is not going to stand for Phyllis running the show at Jabot. Kyle will decide to do whatever he needs to do to get rid of Phyllis Summers this time. How far will Kyle take his revenge? The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of November 3rd, 2025. Fans can expect Noah Newman to open up about his time away from Genoa City. Nick Newman confronts Mitch McCall, aka Matt Clark. Plus, Claire Grace Newman deals with the aftermath of her wild night with Holden Novak. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Noah, who is still in a medically induced coma. However, by Tuesday, expect Nick and Sharon Newman to rush to their son's hospital room. Then, by Thursday, expect Noah to open up about his time away from Genoa City. Of course, Noah might not be completely honest. It seems the young man was hiding things from his parents, which is out of character for him. As for Nick, he will hear from Sharon all about running into Matt. However, Mitch claims that Sharon has him confused for someone else. Sharon knows who she is seeing and tells Nick about it. Midweek, Nick decides to confront the man. Even though Mitch might insist he's not Matt, Sienna Bacall could get suspicious. It is also stated that Sienna covers her tracks with the police. Also, Victoria Newman will begin to get suspicious about Noah's accident. Maybe Noah claims there was no one else, and he just lost control? That's not what the evidence shows. So who will Noah protect, and why? The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of November 3rd reveal that Clare and Holden will need to discuss their dynamic after their wild night together. Later, Holden will agree to keep a secret for Audra Charles. This could definitely complicate Holden's romance with Claire. Later, Nikki Newman will get worried about Claire's decision-making. Fans will also see Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott close ranks to help Kyle Abbott. Speaking of Kyle, he interrogates Claire about her time in Los Angeles. It seems that Kyle is still going to be a huge thorn in Claire's side. Lily Winters loses her cool with Kane Ashby. Plus, Victor Newman plans a sneak attack on his enemies. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of November 3rd, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Phyllis Summers is lying her pants off when it comes to stealing Kane Ashby's AI software. She's told her ally she's not the one who snagged the program when she was. However, is there more to this plan than her scoring a big cash win? Could she have good intentions when all is said and done? The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that Kane wanted Phyllis to do something good with the AI software. The program was initially created so he could take over all of Genoa City's legacy companies, from Newman Enterprises to Jabot, Chancellor, and potentially Winters. With that said, after Newman Media ran that hit piece on his father, Colin Atkinson's Last Con, he was desperate to use the AI software to do good. Phyllis begged him for the program and promised she'd use her powers for good and not evil, but in the end, she ended up stealing it. Phyllis immediately approached Victor Newman and promised to deliver the goods on one condition. She told him that he could get his revenge against Jack Abbott by using the AI software to steal Jabot, but she wanted him to hand over the company to her. What is Phyllis's endgame? Phyllis has been acting coy and telling Kane he can trust her, but her actions speak otherwise. Still, why would Phyllis want Jabot of all companies? It makes sense that she would turn to Victor to sell the AI program and score a money win. But why add the stipulation of stealing Jabot, then giving it to her? She's never held in an attachment to the company, so that is one part of this storyline that has a massive question mark next to it. Could Phyllis end up taking Jabot and handing it back to Jack? She could even sell it to him, but essentially, in doing so, she could reason that Victor got his payback, and Jack still has his family's legacy. It would also be a win-win, because she could score a whack of cash and start her own company too. Kane will eventually find out what Phyllis did, so she could reason she did exactly what he had asked and did a major favor to Genoa City, the Newmans, and Abbotts by finally ending the bitter feud between the Mustache and Jackie, a rivalry that has lasted decades. What do you think is Phyllis's endgame? Comment below. Tune into the CBS Soap Daily and check out this site often for the best Young and the Restless updates, spoilers, and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for the week of November 3rd, 2025. Fans can expect Noah Newman to wake up. Sienna Bacall covers her tracks with the police. Plus, Claire Grace Newman is interrogated about her time in Los Angeles. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's begin with Noah, who is in a medically induced coma following a car crash. Meanwhile, Nick Newman and Sharon Newman are trying to get to the truth about their son's medical condition. Noah wakes up on Tuesday. When he opens his eyes, the young man will open up about his time away from Genoa City. However, while Noah could be truthful about some things, I wonder if he will keep a few secrets to himself. As for Nick, he will get updated in Monday's episode about Sharon's scary encounter. Even though Matt Clark died years ago, Sharon insists that it was him that she saw. This will be all too convenient for Nick, who will confront Matt, aka Mitch. It's likely that Matt's Mitch will continue to claim that Schick has him confused with someone else. Meanwhile, Sienna has to cover her tracks with law enforcement. Also, Victoria Newman will get a weird feeling about Noah's crash. Noah could claim nobody ran him off the road, that he just lost control of the car. However, the evidence suggests otherwise. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of November 3rd reveal that Clare and Holden Novak have some things to discuss. After their night together, are they a couple or not? That same day, Holden agrees to keep something quiet for Audra Charles. This could ruin Holden's chances with Clare. Later, Nikki Newman starts to fret about Clare's recent decisions. Week of November 3rd, 2025. Fans will also see Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott unite. The parents will work to close ranks to help Kyle Abbott. Speaking of Kyle, he continues to question Claire about her time in Los Angeles. Lily Winters gets fed up with Kane Ashby. Elsewhere, Victor Newman plots a secret attack. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of November 3rd, 2025? The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of November 3rd promise some bombshells. And a flurry of casting activity, too. Find out who's coming and who's going on the CBS soap over the next 5 days. Down below, The Young and the Restless spoilers note that Roger Howarth made his debut during the Friday, October 31st episode as Mitch McCall. However, during his encounter with Sharon Newman, she claimed he was none other than Matt Clark. It sounds like this Los Angeles mystery storyline is getting more mysterious by the minute. Speaking of Sharon, she and Nick Newman will be given good news on Tuesday, November 4th, when Noah Newman wakes up, and fans are finally introduced to the new Noah, Days of Our Lives alum Lucas Adams. The Young and the Restless fans need to brace for yet another new character to enter the canvas, as Catherine Kresge will be joining the CBS soap as Detective Annie Stewart. The character is an LA cop, who is the police officer in charge of Noah's car crash. Kresge's YNR debut takes place Thursday, November 20th. Actors Valentina Garcia and Sean O'Hagan will return during the week of November 3rd. and the medical professionals in charge of Noah Newman's care in Los Angeles. Garcia portrays a nurse and will be seen on the Wednesday, November 5th show, along with O'Hagan, who plays Dr. Montgomery, the physician overseeing Noah's case. Plus, actor Mike Falco plays a drunk customer at the Shadow Room during the Tuesday, November 4th show, and will have scenes with Holden Novak and Audra Charles. Are you pumped for the week of November 3 to 7? Which character are you most excited about seeing on screen? Comment below. Watch your favorite CBS soap daily and check out this site often for the best Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. Claire makes her feelings clear, but they could be kind of foggy the day after. On The Young and the Restless, October 31st, Claire put the moves on Holden. She wanted to make her feelings for him clear after learning what Kyle had done before he left Los Angeles. However, she might regret this risky move, especially since she doesn't know him very well. Claire was enjoying her night at the Shadow Room. It was the perfect place to blow off steam and to forget about what had happened in Genoa City. She didn't want to think about Kyle anymore. Unfortunately, Holden had news to share about her ex. He learned from Sienna that Kyle wanted dirt on him. Claire was upset that Kyle overstepped his boundaries for the second time. Here's why Kyle should butt out of the Newmans' drama on The Young and the Restless. Holden argued that Kyle obviously loves her. However, Claire would rather forget that Kyle exists. Holden wondered whether she wished she had followed Kyle back to Genoa City instead of being in the club with him. Claire looked into Holden's eyes and kissed him passionately. Holden was shocked. He asked Claire if she was sure about what she was doing. She grabbed his hands, and they left the club together. Holden followed Claire back to the hotel room. She wondered why she was thirsty. Holden reminded her that she was killing it on the dance floor. Claire didn't want to drink anymore. She wanted to have a clear head for whatever happens next between them. Holden asked her if she was tired. She admitted that she wasn't. They kissed passionately and moved to the bed. Keep in mind that Claire's already been drinking most of the night. She discovered that Kyle had overstepped his boundaries and now wants to move on from him. She might regret the bold move that she makes with Holden. After all, she still doesn't know him, and it's unclear whether he's hiding something or if he's involved in Noah's car crash. Sure, the night seems exciting and fun, but the day after will be a different story. Will Claire wake up and wonder where she went wrong? She might find herself torn between two men. That's not all that happened today. Matt Clark came face-to-face with Sharon, who was also at the club. What happened to Matt Clark on The Young and the Restless? Young and the Restless, early spoilers for Nov 0307, 2025, reveal Kyle Abbott making a deal and Billy Abbott digging into something. As we always do on Early Edition Day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week and then dive into what is coming next week. On Wednesday, October 29th, we've got Jack Abbott telling Billy that Victor Newman stole Kane Ashby's AI, and Jack thinks that Phyllis Summers helped him do it. Jack wants Billy to try and shake some information out of Phyllis, but Billy says she won't tell him if she is working with Victor. Billy actually thinks Jack may stand a better chance of getting info from Phyllis, but he disagrees. Jack vows to make Phyllis pay if she is part of this, and if she is helping Victor target Jabot. Billy is absolutely in agreement with Jack on all of this. Then his brother notices bruises on Billy's knuckles, and he admits that he punched Adam Newman. Jack agrees that fighting the Newmans right now is fine, and they need to come at them hard. Billy goes to find Phyllis to ask her some tough questions. But first, Kane is with Phyllis and says that he thinks she's playing him when she keeps insisting that Victor is going to target Arabesque with the AI that he stole because she's a lying liar. Kane asks why Victor wouldn't go after Jack and Jabot, and Phyllis says it's because Kane is to blame for Nick Newman getting hurt in France. Phyllis gets upset when Kane says he warned Diane Jenkins and Jack about the stolen AI. And Kane also wants to know why Phyllis is upset that he warned the Abbotts. She insists that Damien can trust her. He thinks Phyllis is trying to keep him off balance and distract him while she stabs him in the back. However, Kane is also kind of flirty with Phyllis and calls her fascinating, but I don't know if he's being sincere or if he's playing with her because he knows she stole his AI. Nikki Newman and Victoria Newman are at the hospital and Sharon Newman wants to take them in so Noah Newman can hear their voices. Nick, meanwhile, is not happy with the investigation into the crash, and he wants to talk to Sienna. So, Sharon tells Nick, Go dig into it. And then Sharon tells Nikki and Victoria how awful it is to be in this same position with another child traumatized by a car crash, and they comfort her. Kyle asked Sienna Bacall to tell him all about Audra Charles. She will, but first, she wants an update on Noah. Sienna says that Noah was in her club doing research about opening his club in LA, and her husband Mitch was considering investing. And she says that Nick has already come to see her about the wreck. Sienna says that Noah was there the night of the crash, and Kyle is wondering if it is foul play. Who would go after Noah? Then Nick shows up, and Sienna speaks to him alone. She says that nothing was off in the club or strange the night that Noah was injured. Nick wants to speak with her staff, and he's also shocked to find out from Sienna that the police did not talk to her at all. Nick thinks she's holding back. He's completely mistrusting her, and Sienna says he can talk to her staff tomorrow. It's too busy right now, and they're understaffed. But then Nick accuses Sienna of being up to something and trying to buy time to talk to her staff and get all their stories straight on Young and the Restless. And then Nick starts implying that Sienna must have been interested in Noah. But she says, Look, I'm married. Nick's main exercise has always been jumping to conclusions, and he's not exactly the brightest crayon in the box, you know. Also, Kyle makes a deal with her. Sienna will tell him about Audra and Holden Novak if Kyle agrees to look into Noah's accident. On Thursday, October 30th, it is the official kickoff of November sweeps on Young and the Restless, and we've got Jack stepping up to protect his family and protect Jabot and their legacy, and obviously, they're concerned about Victor, the AI program, and also Phyllis. Meanwhile, Billy and Phyllis swap some info. And of course, Billy and Jack are working together to try and figure out if Phyllis is involved and who she's working with, and whether she might help them since she's a super-duper hacker. Jack and Billy definitely want Phyllis on their side. And I wonder if she'd tell Billy that she stole Kane's AI and gave it to Victor, but is tricking him, or if she's going to lie to them the same way she's lying to Kane. Victor offers Michael Baldwin another chance to get back into his good graces. I assume that Victor wants Michael back as his fixer while he's using the AI, because Victor knows he might have some legal problems come out of this. On Friday, October 31st, we've got Holden seeing Claire Grace Newman in a whole new way. I wonder if she's going to do up all sexy for Halloween. We have seen soon with Mitch McCall. He is Sienna's hubby, the Shadow Lounge manager, of course, who's a friend of Holden. So, we may get him at the end of this week, or it may be in next week when things kick up into high gear because of a sweeps. So, Kyle is going above and beyond for Harrison Locke on Friday. I do wonder if Kyle jets back to Genoa City just to go trick-or-treating with his kid, and then turns around and goes back to LA so he can follow through on this deal with Sienna. He's desperate to discredit Audra. And if he can get some info on Holden as well, that would be great. And Kyle may try and convince Claire to come for Halloween with Harrison, but I don't think she's going to miss Halloween in Los Angeles. Sharon's quest for answers about Noah's accident leads her into danger by the end of this week. And then heading into next week, November 3rd through the 7th, it is the first full week of November sweeps. So, big stuff building up. Sally Spectra has faith in Audra, but what Kyle uncovers about Audra could hurt Sally and Abbott.com. I'm starting to wonder if that company is ever going to launch. Sharon and Nick are both heading into danger soon as they chase leads about Noah's crash. Kane is fighting to get his AI back. He wants to redeem himself in the eyes of his kids and get Lily Winter's forgiveness. And he's also trying to fight that temptation that is Phyllis. Victoria and Nikki can't stay in Los Angeles too long because of the AI crisis, and they're needed at Newman Enterprises. But pretty soon, the Newmans are going to bring Noah back to Genoa City to finish recuperating. Noah's recovery is going to be slow, but he is up and fine, walking and talking before Christmas. I've seen behind-the-scenes pictures. You can see them here where Noah is on the set. He's at Crimson Lights and see the Christmas decor. So, he's going to be just fine. And it looks like Mitch and Sienna may actually relocate to Genoa City, at least for a while. So, Kyle is also back in Genoa City soon. And he may make Audra's life miserable if Sienna gives him some really super-duper good dirt. By the way, we have the dates for Christine Cricket Blair and Danny Romalotti's wedding. It's going to be deeper into November Friday, November 21st, and Monday, November 24th. Noah begins to wake up just as Sharon and Nick uncover the shocking truth behind Matt Clark's return to Genoa City. Next week on The Young and the Restless, Sharon reels from coming face-to-face with Matt Clark, the man she and Nick believed had died decades ago. As she struggles to make sense of his return, Noah begins to stir, setting off a new wave of emotion and uncertainty for the Newman family. With Victoria growing more suspicious about her nephew's accident, it's clear that the past isn't done haunting Genoa City. Sharon is still shaken after her unexpected encounter with Matt Clark. Memories of what he once did to her and Nick flood back, but now she's desperate to understand why he's resurfaced under a new name and how he connects to Noah's crash. Her fears only intensify as she senses Matt's reappearance isn't a coincidence, but something far more personal. As the week unfolds, Noah finally begins to wake up. His parents rush to his side, torn between relief and dread over what he might remember. Sharon hopes he can shed light on what really happened in Los Angeles, while Nick's focus shifts to protecting his family from any threat Matt's return might bring. Meanwhile, Victoria digs deeper into the suspicious circumstances surrounding Noah's accident. Her instincts tell her the wreck wasn't random, and that the danger circling their family could be rooted in old grudges. If she's right, the Newmans may be walking straight into a storm that's been brewing for decades. With Noah's recovery and Matt Clark's resurrection colliding, next week's episodes promise high-stakes revelations that could rewrite the Newman family's history once again.